joined by a guy who blew up a couple years ago, going up on a Tuesday. ILOVEMAKONNEN. Yes, sir. He's in the building on the show. Glad to have him. Introduce yourself. Let us know where you're from and what's popping, man.
Yo, what's up? It's ILOVEMAKONNEN. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Portland, Oregon right now. Just living and enjoying life, working on some art and stuff, and hopefully have some new stuff soon.
That's what's up, man. Now, you caught like Wildfire Dude with the single, going back a couple years and what have you. Tell us, what was that like?
It was like a whirlwind, as I would put it. I was kind of like not expecting it to become as successful as it was, as so fast. And just kind of like 1 minute you're just grinding, and hoping, knowing that it's gonna pay off one day, and then kind of like it starts to pay off, and then you're just put into all these new places where you never were, and then it's like, it's like unbelievable. It's kind of like a dream, but then it slowly starts to turn into a nightmare.
All right, so I didn't want to touch on the nightmare part, dude, but let's take it there for a quick second. So, of course, we're in 2026. To each their own, everybody do their damn thing. Nobody should be judging. So obviously, you came out, you did your thing, and maybe there was a little bit of backlash, or as the hip-hop community, quote-unquote, I'm a hip-hop head through and through, but I think there needs to be more leniency there. And of course, there has been with Lil Nas X, etc. List goes on, you know what I mean? So is that what you're kind of alluding to there, dude?
That's part of the nightmare. You know what I'm saying? I think more so of the nightmare is like, first, like everybody's your friend, everybody loves you, and they all care about you and all your opinions, and then slowly but surely maybe some things get out that shouldn't have been said, and then relationships all deteriorate, and then nobody wants to be your friend, and then everybody starts ostracizing you and hating on you. Then it's like, well, I thought we were all celebrating in on the art and stuff, and I thought, then it's like, it's not about that anymore. It's more about personal relationships and how people feel about you and connections and all that stuff. So then that's where the nightmare starts to come in. And then me coming out and stuff, I feel like that was already after everything has kind of been, in a different place of like, I'm not on best terms with anyone, so let me go ahead and just do me for myself and the culture, which is obviously struggling with the issue. And so I was just like, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then of course there's backlash, but it's like really no backlash because I don't talk to these people anyway. They were already backlash and not messing with me from the first place. So it's like I just had to move on and live my life for myself, and hopefully for it inspires fans that come along afterward.
100. Now, I was thinking in my car, I kid you not, I was like, yo, do I ask them the questions or we just keep it strictly music, right? So salute to you for bringing that up, for the nightmares. I give pure respect for that, dude. Back to the music, because like I said, I'm in my 40s. I'm all about positivity, not that bullshit you're talking about. So tell us, man, what's up musically? What do you got going on, dude?
Musically, I've just been releasing, I guess, a lot of music that I wanted to try to do recently over the past few years, where, as an artist, I'd like to try to do something new each time, or something, bring some kind of refreshing sound to it. So since I've been in Portland, I've been able to really experiment more and make the things that I kind of want to make, and stop chasing more so the sound of the town or the audience and whoever is, the thing that I guess, that I used to do. A lot of times I would release songs that I personally like, and not that I didn't like them, but I could just tell like, oh, this song's gonna mean a lot more to this group of fans more so than it means to me, so I'll go ahead and drop that, whatever. But then as an artist, as I started growing older, I wanted to start doing, what I wanted to do. And so musically I've been able to do that. And recently in February, me and Key, my friend from Atlanta, one of my first collaborators in rap, we recently worked on an album together with Yellow Trash Can here in Portland, Oregon, who I made another collab album with a few years ago. So really musically, right there, that's kind of been the newest thing we've been doing. And all the music just kind of got recorded in February, maybe a few little cleanups in March here, but we should get it released out hopefully by July.
That's what's up, man. Now, speaking of music genres, where do you classify your music right now? Is it hip hop? Is it an infusion? What is it? Right? What's your genre? What do you cater towards, man?
Yeah. That's funny. I feel like I've always catered towards hip hop, right? But I know, and what I think about hip hop is, right, is this kind of alternative, urban, like, type of, art style where it's not really trying to get accepted. It just more fights to get respected. And so I think with my music, I know just like a lot of genres have changed and clashed and joined in together, but I feel like a lot of them still have the main base, or at least for me, my main base is like a hip hop thing where I'm always trying to, like, the elements of what I would consider hip hop is where I like to make my art at. And there's been some times where I've tried to do some things that just maybe piano or a little more with guitar. That's a little alternative, but I'm always trying to add the 808 and like some hip hop elements to where it's kind of like banging and knocking. So I think I'm making hip hop right now, but I don't know what the world is classifying it as. So I'm thinking maybe just experimental DIY.
Yeah, man.
Internet.
Yeah, I'm a hip hop head. Like I said, I go back to hip hop from the mid '90s and all the way through the early 2000s. Right, with Ja Rule, DMX, Jay-Z, the whole 9 yards. You know what I mean? Speaking of artists, do you have any influences, bro?
Influences? Yeah, I'm always influenced from like James Brown and the Delphonics and Prince and stuff like that. I mean, in hip hop, I've always been influenced by Tupac and Biggie, DJ Quick and Sugar Free. I feel like I've always been influenced by hip hop or an artist. I think I'm more influenced just by the art itself. It's not really one artist that I feel like I can just lock into, because I feel like so many artists speak and have different views of their life and what they're given with their art. And I feel like, as a person who's like, I can't mimic my life after any of all of these people, but what I could resonate with certain things that resonate to me through these artists. But I feel like I relate and I'm more influenced by the culture of the hip hop and thing, more so than like by one or two artists and stuff. I think of like when my artistry, where I get inspired by artists, I think about like Little Richard and people like that who are more than just, I guess, the music and with their art.
Yeah, amazing that you give a shout out to the West Coast, Quick, and the Sugar Free. You got the Sugar Free vibe happening, dude.
Yeah,
big ups, man, big ups. So as we kind of wind down on the interview, do you want to let the audience know where they can hit you up on the socials, where they can get your music, and also, any plans to come to Canada, bro? Have you been to Canada?
Yeah, I've been to Canada a few times. I haven't been recently. I mean, when I first came, Drake had to help me get in there because I had some American government issues at the time. But yeah, I'm always loving to come back. It's always been a great time out there. I've loved the weather and like the people. It's so chill. But I think because it's like, I guess when I got up there, I'm like, it doesn't feel like you guys have like guns here. Like in America, the gun law is kind of different, but like I'm sure there's guns in Canada, but there it's kind of a little more, it's a little more less violent and like all this kind of like aggressiveness all the time. So like I really enjoy it and feel like I get to kind of like just be and exist. And it's so a cultural melting pot. There's so many people from all over the world that live there that it's always, I love the diversity. But yeah, I might be playing. No, I'm not. But I got an offer to do something in Calgary, hopefully in July. Okay. But we're still waiting to hear back from them. But yeah, hopefully once I get this new tape and stuff out with Key and Yellow Trash Can, I want to be able to go and travel and tour all over again. So wherever they'll have me, I'll be there.
That's what's up. Yeah, and you shouted out Drake. He's got the new album, 3 new albums, just killing it. Show love to the city, visuals, the whole 9 yards. And you're talking about the violence. Yeah, stay away from Toronto streets, bro, and you'll be straight. That's the only place you got to be careful about. And like I said, on an end note, man, we want to make sure they can hit you up, get your music. Where can they find you online, brother?
Online, I think everything is mostly I Love McKonnon. I think on YouTube it's I Love McKonnon Music, and like TikTok, I've been on there a little more recently as McCorrigan503, and you can also just search I Love McKonnon and it'll come up. And then on Instagram, it's still I Love McKonnon. No changes there. Awesome.
Well, we're gonna rock a few joints after this interview with you, and the man, I Love McKonnon, he's going up. Make sure you lock it in and stay tuned on what he's got going on. big things. I love McConnen. Thanks for your time, homie. Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.